Welcome to the RPG Podcast.
And we are live.
Oh, God, Patton!
Presented by SHEATH. A Time Wheel production.
What's up, everyone? Robert Patton here. We just had a great talk with the marketing director of Iridium Sports Agency, Jacob Parga. He's a great guy, had a great conversation. I've been working with him for about a year now with a bunch of different athletes. Most notably known would be Brandon Moreno. He's fighting for the championship on June 12th. I got a phone call from Jacob and Brandon this weekend. It was like a FaceTime call, so that was really cool. And I thought I'd get him on, have a talk. He's like the Jerry Maguire of the MMA, so to speak. If we take care of the fighters, he gets some sponsorship deals. Everybody wins. He's the guy. If you need an agent, find this guy. So enjoy the show. Appreciate you guys listening. Jacob Parga. Yes, from Iridium Sports Agency. Thank you. I think I have it in my phone differently. I must have saved it wrong, but I get a lot of emails from you.
It's all good.
It's all good. So thank you for joining me. How where are you right now?
I'm actually in Southern California right now. So I'm home for the next few days and then getting ready for upcoming fight weekends. I'll be in Vegas this week and then Brandon Moreno for the Arizona fight. So
yeah, June 12th. That's going to be exciting. I'm very excited. I'm a big fan of his, but how, so I was calling you like the Jerry Maguire of the fighting industry to my wife earlier. Yeah. You're a sports agent and you represent athletes and get them sponsorship deals.
Okay.
Do you do anything other besides MMA?
No. So I'm the marketing director over at Iridium. So I handle all the day-to-day like marketing deals and endorsements and helping guys get ready for camps and finding sponsors, and all that stuff. Primarily we're focused in MMA. I think Jason Haas, our CEO, he has his NFLPA certification. I think eventually I want to get mine too, but more to just kind of add a little bit of credibility. In MMA, it's still kind of like the Wild Wild West where you don't really need to have any sort of credentials or anything behind it, but, just so that our clients are feeling a little bit more secure and knowing that we're not just, some guys off the street. We have in-house legal counsel and I have a whole team that really helps me do my job and makes my life easier when it comes to managing the MMA side of things.
It's the fastest growing sport. I just did a tweet earlier and it was a little bit rude maybe, but we used to sponsor this. Well, we didn't sponsor, but we had a deal with Danny Green from the San Antonio Spurs. I think he plays for like Portland now, but he was up in Canada and I think he's gone to most of the teams. It wasn't a great experience, but that's, I guess, not really the point. The point was like, I used to love basketball and I watched like all the games and I had a favorite team and players, but now I pretty much only watch MMA. And I was just thinking that like these other sports are on the downward kind of trend.
Yeah, I think I played college football. Like I've been around football my whole life. When I had finished playing, that's when I connected with Jason. And, I originally had thought that he was like he would work with the NFL and, I'd be working with NFL guys. And when I got into the industry, I was like, oh man, like this is completely different. But, being around guys that I have friends that have played in the NFL and, teammates that have went on and done a lot of things, but it's just, I think the culture of MMA is just different. It's a very, there's a lot of gratitude in the sport of MMA because you go through so much, right? And, you go to these other sports and a lot of this stuff is kind of expected, the deals, the lifestyle, where in MMA, it's still in its youth, right? And it's still growing. So these guys still appreciate the process, right? And appreciate the little things coming up in the game. I mean, we talk about Brandon. Brandon's probably one of the most grateful people I know, man. Cheeto Vera is another guy. Like all those guys are always like so grateful to work with people, so grateful to just have an influence in their life. And it's just an awesome experience. I totally get what you mean though. Like you see the culture starting to shift. And MMA people are starting to pay attention of, hey man, what's going on in the UFC? What's going on in Bellator? What are these guys doing?
Yeah, the other organizations are getting traction, PFL, LFA,
Yeah.
that's legacy. And um it's there's just, I don't know, there's something different for me. Like I'm basing my assumption that these other sports are going down because I'm not watching them, and and I'm an average everyday guy. I mean, maybe that's not necessarily
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not true. I am a little bit biased, but I feel like I've heard things like the ratings are down, and then but for MMA it's up like significantly. I just bought some stock in EDR, which it owns
Ever.
the UFC, right? And I'm like all in. Although I was thinking this is an interesting thought. I was looking at like Metro PCS out because I've been watching some old MMA stuff recently, and I'm looking at like at the old sponsors, and I'm like, why aren't they still sponsoring them? Monsters around, but there's just a lot that have kind of come and gone, and you have to have a great product, which thankfully we do.
Yeah. I think in the marketing side of things, man, I think you really have to, we worked with Manscaped early on. We worked with a lot of these brands, really early in the game. Like we really love to like help young brands and build them up through the sport. I've worked with all kinds of different companies, and I think what happens is a lot of times they're there. They just think, hey man, I'm going to put all this money behind this athlete and it's going to work. Like you have to go through the process, man. You really have to worry about, brand awareness and engagement. Are the athletes posting? Are they doing the right things? Are they really behind the brand? We don't work with too many sponsors that our athletes aren't really aware of, their products or what they're doing or the type of support that they're getting. We really want to make sure that we're working with people hand in hand. And I mean, I feel like that's why you and I have such a great relationship. Our athletes are all, love SHEATH and love everything that's going on. The support that they get has been phenomenal. And it's just, these are the type of relationships that we like to foster at Iridium because it's natural, right? We don't have to force them. One thing that I always talk about in my marketing careers, that the 90s movie Wayne's World, right, where he's talking about, I won't bow down to corporate sponsors, and he's holding up this pizza box, and he's holding up the
Pepsi or whatever,
Pepsi and all this stuff, right? And it's like, we laugh about that stuff and we laugh about that type of marketing, right? And that we won't do it, but we see it all the time, and we wonder why. Like our athletes are not influencers, right? They're athletes. So they have a very natural fit with a lot of these brands. That's really what our aim is at Iridium, is just making sure that we get that organic fit. And I mean, what's more organic than some bamboo laced, high quality underwear that keep your stuff all in one spot.
what else do you need? And I mean, it's a perfect fit for fighting because they have to weigh in the underwear, and that one little thing really I don't even think I think I thought of that afterwards because I was just a fan of MMA, but and then I was like, oh yeah, they have to weigh in the underwear. So anyways, that's a beautiful fitting component. I'm watching all these old UFC Tough Ultimate Fighters, the show, and they're wearing all these ratchety underwear, and I'm like, man, somebody could have got in there and killed if they would have planned ahead to be the underwear sponsor of the whole show or something.
Yeah.
And I want to do that. I was messaging Mick Maynard. I've messaged Michael Bisping about, because he's got ins with them, and we're friends. We'll just say we're friends, kind of. Yeah. Have you met him?
Yeah, I've met him in passing a few times. He's really nice.
Yeah, he's super nice, and I met him in passing, but we message back and forth from time to time. I don't like get crazy. I don't message because I have all these people's numbers like Kevin Holland and Tony
Yeah.
Ferguson and Cowboy Cerrone, and we're doing a deal with Cerrone. We're doing a BMF pair.
Nice.
I'll show you. This is coming out in a couple of months. It's just pretty basic, but just like the
Nice.
logos.
Dude, Cowboy's a legend, man. I have nothing but respect for him. It's man, he's had a crazy career, and I wish nothing but the best for him, man.
Yeah, he's transitioning, parlaying his name to the BMF brand and doing he's got a bmfranch.com, I think, where he's selling some sheath. He's going to sell the underwear there and we'll sell them on our side. And he said he's doing really well. So that's exciting stuff. I'm like in this world. I feel like not like Joe Rogan per se, but and I'll ask you this, but like he's the reason, probably a huge reason why I sponsor comedians and fighters. That's probably not a coincidence. And how did you? So you played college football,
Yeah.
and then did you get like a degree in sports management?
I went to the University of Laverne, a small D3 school here in California. The year before I graduated, my best friend was getting recruited by the Chargers. He had like an open workout. And I just kind of remember being a part of his process, and I heard about Jason House, our CEO, coming out, and I had kind of seen him in passing, and so kind of went through the process with my buddy. He decided, hey man, I don't want to go to the CFL, and Jason was again part of that whole process. So it's crazy kind of being a part of his journey, right, such early on, and not really realizing that I was kind of helping him get through this stuff.
Wow.
And then I graduated early, and I kind of had a semester to really just kind of, hey man, am I going to law school? Am I going to go get my MBA? What am I going to do? I ended up talking to my strength coach, who's he's like a mentor to me, and Jason. He connected Jason with his first client, who's ironically my PE professor in college. There's a lot of like Iridium sports backgrounds at the University of Laverne. And I just kind of met Jason one day. He had a 951 area code, which is area code right over from me. He's from Diamond Bar. I'm from Chino, very close cities. His high school football coach ended up coaching at my high school we had a lot in common. Our dads both worked for the sheriff's department, so it was just crazy, right? So I met him, and we kind of just hit it off. And I just kind of asked him. I said, "Hey, man, I just kind of want to learn what you do, learn what an agent does." And he's like, "Sure, man." And at the time, it was a hyper growth phase. We definitely didn't have 96 guys in the UFC at the time, but we're working with a lot of guys.
You have 96 guys in the UFC?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's like a 20% of the roster. That's
yeah. We got a good amount of them, man. Again, man, Jason does an amazing job of working with the UFC. Jeremy Luchow, our managing partner, he really works with all the regional promotions with LFA and Combates and all these organizations. So we also have Lance Spouty, who's another regional agent for us, Joe Wooster. Everyone has their role, right, where they're building these athletes up. And Jason and Jeremy really work well together. They're the best, man. I can't say enough about them. Jeremy really builds up talent on the regional scene to prepare these guys for the UFC. Not just about getting in, right? I think Jason does a good job of getting people in, but we're getting them in and getting them the right fights and keeping them into the UFC. And again, at the time, it just was right place, right time. And he was focused on getting these guys ready for their fights, and marketing was something that was open. So started with a CBD company, then it started with this company and that company. And it's funny, man, a lot of those companies that I started off with in year one are still with us today. Definitely would not be here without our partners, and love just connecting with new companies every year, man, every day. Again, man, it just a big part of our success and what we do is just because our team is awesome. Like everyone works together. It's definitely everyone takes care of every part of the athlete's life, right? I'm doing marketing. Ed Cap is our PR director. He does all their interviews. Jeremy does all the regional building, with some of the large organizations like LFA and Combates. Lance deals with a lot of the other regional, in the different areas of the world. Joe has his promotion and stuff like that. So you also have Raul Arvizu, who's running stuff down in Mexico now, and in Latin America. So yeah, man, it's just, I am where I'm at because of our team, because of Jason's leadership. And we definitely are lucky to have, work partners like you, and it makes it easy, right? Like, that's why I feel like our relationships are so good. Cause it's like, we're regular guys, man. We just wake up, we put our boxers on the same way every day, and just get there and make sure that we're, a big thing for us is just serving and giving to others, man. I think if we care about our guys like family, and that's why we're seeing the success that we are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember exactly how we connected. But you guys have a lot of talent, and with Brandon Moreno, coming up June 12th, that flyer with him versus what's his name? Figueiredo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I was just telling some people about it. I'm not sure who, but the first fight was so legendary, and then they had to
run it back,
rebook it. Yeah, and if he becomes the champion, which that would just be really cool. Like, cause you see, I'm wearing the little. I'm always representing, for some reason. I'm just a huge fan, and it would be nice to have a champion. We had Ferguson kind of when he was interim champion, and Cowboy was on the way up, and then I want a belt, like some gold on our roster, and Marino, he's so cool. You guys were hanging out the other night?
Yeah, so we Brandon's like one of my close friends, man. He's been like family. It's funny how he came to us when he got cut from the UFC. That's when we kind of connected again.
I didn't know he got cut. What happened? Because
so they were he got released from the UFC. It was kind of during that weird time. Are they keeping the 25 division? Or are they getting rid of it?
Oh, okay.
And then Jason kind of reached out to him, and that's actually Elisa, his wife, who's like my mom. It's like that's like one of her favorite all-time fighters. So sure enough, we ended up connecting with him, and Jeremy ended up getting him on LFA shortly after, got him a title fight. He wins that LFA title fight. End up, kind of waiting around, and the UFC opportunity came back again. Jason got him back in, and he's kind of built himself up these last couple months, man, and just racking off some really big wins. And
did he win the Ultimate Fighter show? Or he's just a contestant?
I think he was just a contestant.
And that's when Tim Elliott won, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, man, that was way before my time. Definitely.
I'm getting my time mixed up, and I don't know why I thought he won. He's so unassuming. I guess he obviously didn't win.
Yeah.
I mean, because you would know. And I think I thought I get the facts are a little bit fuzzy, but he's been killing it. Like, that's what's cool about the Ultimate Fighter, the show. Also, you don't even have to win. You can like a lot of the guys that didn't win.
Yeah.
Make it to the UFC and then have great careers.
Yeah. I was watching the Tough 25, right? Where the redemption season. And I was talking to Kraus, who's one of our clients.
Oh, he's so good.
Dude, James Kraus is.
Yeah. He should be coach of the year or something.
He's for sure got to be coach of the year, man. James is another guy, man. He's going to be a guy that transcends the sport. He's doing so much. Like, he was a part of our first athlete forum where he talked to our athletes and our clients about, financial literacy and investing. And
wow.
Yeah. Like, he's a coach, he's a mentor, he's an amazing athlete. Like, I mean, who else steps up on 18 hours notice and fights someone like,
and another weight class, I think it was
fighting up a weight class, man. Like, it's just, James is another one, man. But like, that season we were talking about it, man, like, they had guys on the show that had won previous seasons, and and lost, man. Like guys that almost got to the UFC, and it's crazy, man. I think the Ultimate Fighters. We actually just had Brian Battle, Vince Murdoch. Who else do we have? Andre Petrosky. They were just on Tough, and I'm super excited for the season to come out, man. Like it's gonna be on ESPN Plus, and
yeah, we've been binging like some of the old seasons, waiting for Tuesday to watch it. Yeah, that's what my life slightly revolves around fighting. And I used to look at guys that sat and watched football all, every Sunday drinking beer, and I'm like, what are you doing with your life?
I think now I think MMA is a little bit different, right? In the sense that like you build relationships with that fighter, right? Like you really do follow the story, right? I mean, there's Bobby Green's another guy, man. Like you look at that guy's story through the UFC,
like adopted or something.
Yeah, he's adopted. He's from the Inland Empire. He spent every birthday in a different home. Like now he just, he's buying houses. He's buying real estate for his family. Super, like, it's just crazy, man. Like I think that's why people fall in love with MMA, right? They fall in love with the stories of these athletes. Like Brandon, I mean, guy was in the UFC super young, right? Goes on a tear, gets cut, is jobless for, pretty much a year, right? Working commentating, gets in LFA, wins that, gets back in the UFC's winning, fights for a title. I mean, man, like in 2019, we were sitting here like, oh man, like what are we going to do? And now he's fighting for a world title again, twice. Like that's why you kind of radiate with these guys so much. You're like, dude, holy crap. Like
I want him to win. It's like fighting is, go ahead.
I think Brandon's one of those people, man, that he's put in so much work. Like he's done everything right. I think I just really feel like we're prepared to win this fight. And I think, his team, Raul and everyone at Entram, and man, I really do believe he's got everything to win this fight.
I guess you guys would really like that too, having the agency with a belt. Do you have anyone else like with a belt?
We haven't had a UFC champion. Brent Primus won the Bellator championship before. He beat Mike Chandler back in the day, but
wow,
championship
name.
yeah. Haven't had a UFC champion yet, but definitely feel like Brandon's got every opportunity to be.
He has what it takes and the heart.
Yeah,
and we saw because Figueiredo, I like to say his name, Figueiredo. He's tough, dude. And he looked like unstoppable. And then when Brandon like brought it to him toe to toe for 5 rounds, everyone was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
who is this kid?"
Man, he's just some regular kid from the streets of TJ, man. Like he's got a heart of gold. His family's amazing, man. Like I cannot say enough good things about Brandon Moreno, man.
I don't know how. I mean, we're kind of talking about him, but I like that. And I've been to Tijuana. I used to live in Orange County, and so I made my way down there a couple times. And it doesn't seem like an MMA mecca. I feel like it's not the best grounds for anyone to grow up.
Man, I'll actually say this,
but I don't know.
Our partner Raul Arvizu, he runs everything down in Mexico and kind of Latin America. Man, he's built a mecca of a gym. It's a 4-story gym in Mexico. He's got the first store has got a coffee shop and a pro shop, mats on the second floor, full boxing.
No way.
Conditioning. Like, I mean, they have a full MMA promotion in there. Like, man, he's really dedicated his life to building up that talent. Raul's, man, he's really good at what he does. And although, it's not necessarily known as like a mecca, that gym is really a mecca. And Brandon's been with, I think, Raul since he was like 12 or 13, super young. So he's kind of built him up, man. And I mean, Raul sent a bunch of that Latin talent to the UFC. He's worked with everyone down there. And man, Entram Gym is definitely a big name, and you'll start hearing a lot more of those guys. We got a couple of the Michael Morales, Silvana Juarez. Those guys are going to be on Contender Series. There's a lot of talent that's coming out of that gym you're going to start hearing a lot more of.
A lot of like Latino talent. It's making me think of, I think, Javier Garcia, the El Mariachi.
Yep. Yep.
Love that guy. He's
Yeah.
awesome. I love
Hobbies,
that.
man.
I mean, because you got to kind of have some character,
Yeah.
so that comes in and that covers, you got to have a gimmick or whatever, if you want to
Yeah.
call it, and then back it up. And so far he's been very impressive. I really like him.
Javi's the man. He's over at with Coach Ben Jones and all those guys, man. I think Jacob Rosales. Man, there's so much talent in that gym that's coming out, and that's over here in like the Brea, Anaheim, Fullerton
Okay.
area. So they're out that way. So yeah, man, there's gonna be a bunch of talent that comes out there. The Honey Badger crew, all those guys. Shout out to
His
Coach.
coach,
Yeah.
remember, I remember watching it, and the coach like just gave him a pep talk between 2 and 3 and was like, you gotta finish this or something. And then he went and won, and it
Dude,
was awesome.
Coach Jones, man, he has so much heart, man. He's one of the greatest motivators. If you watch Curtis Melinder's last fight, his pre-fight, like always gets the guys going, man. He's a really good dude, man. I'm really excited to see a lot of those guys start getting into the show as well.
Yeah, and I'm this is cool because you guys, how long has Iridium been around?
So we actually just celebrated last Sunday our 12th year anniversary.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Right
Yeah.
around the same as us. I bet, I like, kind of, because I had the idea in 2008. 2009 would be like 12 years, I guess, from now. But 2010 is when I had my first release for SHEATH,
Nice.
underwear.com. But then there was a huge setback, and it put me behind like 3 years setback.
Oh
We
man.
relaunched in 2013, and ever since then, that's when we really kind of took off. But
Yeah.
the key is to never give up.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Mike Bisping's book "Quitters Never Win."
Yeah.
I'm trying to get, you can check it out on Amazon. I'm trying to get him on the show, and he, it's all there's. That's what's so cool about fighters, is that mentality.
Yeah.
You're in a fight. They rarely tap due to strikes. You'll
Yeah.
tap if you're getting like choked out, or your knee's gonna get broke off or whatever. But like, I remember Gavin Tucker was fighting this guy, this hick country hick dude, but like, and he was old. He was like 42, and my point is, the guy was beat up Gavin Tucker for 5 rounds or 3 rounds. I guess it was 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Just punching his head against the mat, and his head was like bouncing up, but he never quit. Sometimes you might want to quit if it's that bad.
Yeah.
Like, are somebody needs to throw in the towel. People don't throw in the towel in the MMA that much.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of these guys would rather go out on their sword, man. We've definitely had some tough ones, but I mean, man, they sacrifice so much, man. Like it's crazy to me. I mean, I've gotten to see these. I mean, I've cut weight with some guys. I've seen all the sacrifice, leaving their families, being in foreign countries. You look at any of these guys' story, man, like they're literally sacrificing all this to get to the UFC. And even when you're in the UFC, right, a lot of these guys are still sacrificing, just to make it to that top percentage. And it's hard. It's hard to quit. It's hard to get guys to pull out. It's hard for them to not want to continue, because you've put in so much work day in, day out, having that relentless pursuit of excellence, right? Or just to say, hey man, like I'm a UFC fighter, hey, I'm a UFC champion, like man, I cannot applaud our clients. I cannot applaud anyone that's in this industry. I mean, you're in business, right? Like, every day success is, PJ Fleck, the head coach over at Minnesota, he talks about success, right? And everyone thinks success is like this, right? It's a straight line, but success is a lot of up and down. And, these guys, man, they go through these wins, they go through these losses, they've been up, they've been down. But every day, they still go back to the same gym, they put their gloves on or their gi on or whatever it is, and they just get after it, man. So it's definitely you earn a new level of respect for martial artists, the sport as a whole, and especially anyone in business. Like I tell them, man, like watch the sport, like find out what this sport's about, because you know, if you want to know what business is like, it's exactly like being an MMA fighter. You know, show up, win your pro debut, lose your next one, right? Win your next three, you know, might get on Contender Series or might get a call, get in the UFC. You know, you may double bonus your first night, or you may lose. You know, we've had both sides of the coin, and you know, man, it's just crazy, man, the respect that I have for these guys and what they do. And I think that's why it motivates me to work hard, you know, in my industry, in my field, because it's like, dude, these guys are giving it everything they got, man. I have to do the same for them and what we're doing.
That's beautiful. They're very inspirational. I love the energy. I have pictures of the guys like right after they win. I'd like to capture that moment. I have some on my vision board where they're like, yeah, they're like screaming, you know, like just that moment that I got to imagine there's not a whole lot, like there's not another feeling better probably than that moment when you just.
I'm pretty sure, man, if Brandon wins his title fight, I'm probably going to be shedding some tears, man.
Dude,
it's definitely going to be an emotional experience for us.
Yeah, and we're like there with them. Sometimes when I'm watching, like when I was watching Javier the last fight, it was a couple months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And I get like I'm in there with him, and I'm like bobbing and weaving. I'm like, and so I remember a little bit now because I feel like he was losing. And I was like, I'm like, he's not punching enough. I was like, punch. And I was like, jab. And then he started jabbing. And then he caught, and I was like, do this. And then he did it. And then, so I was basically controlling him, and he won. So I brought him back because he needed the little help from me.
It's funny too, because we talked about it. I remember giving him his fight shorts for the fight. And he's like, man, like, I'm going to take this one, bro. Like, I'm probably going to sub him. And sure enough, man, like, third round, last second, we got him, and I was like, dude, like you literally called him in. It's crazy. It's fight game's crazy, man. That's all.
Well, and you know, like you were saying, how it is like business, and what I was, you know, saying just a minute ago about how we did our first launch in 2010, but then there was a whole. What happened was the product was I bought a full production, and I couldn't sell it because it was bad. The design was premature. I was trying to put it out before it was ready because I was too excited, kind of like maybe the adrenaline dump or what, like some kind of metaphor, but I was too excited. I rushed production. I got the product, and then nobody liked it because it wasn't ready. And I just spent all my money, and that was it. So, you know, as luck would have it or whatever, Kickstarter came out. You know, there's a crowdfunding website.
Yep.
Yeah. So that really helped get us off the ground in 2013. But it was 3 years later, like I said before, I got like my ducks in a row. I got out of the Army. I went and worked for a tailor for a year. He was like a Vietnamese tailor, and he really knew all the ins and outs of constructing garments and whatnot. So he taught me a lot. We reconstructed the whole design, like I told you, because I said it wasn't ready, and it's needed some modifications. But you know, I got knocked down, so to speak. But then I got back up and kept fighting. Or I lost one fight, but got back up and trained again, and now we're winning, and now we're the champion of underwear, so to speak. We're trying to be.
No, and I think, man, I see it all the time, man. People come into this industry, and you know, we meet with all kinds of different businesses, and the ones that stick around, man, are the ones that are willing to go through the ups and the downs and understanding, hey, man, like you got to build relationships with your people. I'm a big proponent of that, man. I think building relationships and connecting with people on personal levels is definitely the way to succeed. I know it's definitely one of the books that Jason, this literally the first book he gave me was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No relation to Andrew Carnegie, which is weird.
Yeah. Super
the
weird.
steel mill. billionaire. Yeah.
But man, that book I think is I implore any college graduate, any grad school graduate, anyone that's about to do business, like, man, read that book. Like, it just, some of the ideas that he goes over of just how connecting with people, you got to lead with a little bit of honey, right? You got to just, I think, man, that's what's really pushing you guys in that direction. Cause I've come to you in situations, hey man, this athlete has these things going on in their life. It's not just a business play. It's more of, hey man, how can we mutually help each other, right? Hey, he's fighting in a big organization. He's going to have, tons of marketing opportunity and visibility and all that good stuff, right? But you don't realize that, you're helping him pay for his medicals or his meals or anything really, you know what I mean? Training gear,
Right.
the case may be. And that's why, that's why I make time even today, to come on here and spend time with you. Cause man, like I said, we at Iridium can never express how much we appreciate SHEATH and all they've done for us. And
Wow.
really
I appreciate what you guys are doing. I feel like we were talking, I hate when I mix people up. I hope but were we talking about Monster Energy drink at all? No?
possibly.
Because just because like somebody was telling me the guy that does their marketing was like a genius or whatever, and
Oh man, Hans is huge.
it must have been you then.
Yeah, Hans is he's got such a great mind, man. He's such an artist with what he does, and man, I'm a big fan of what he does and how he's built, brands like Osiris and Triumph and Monster and on and on and
I didn't
on.
know he had worked with different brands. I've definitely heard of Osiris.
Yeah, he was doing all kinds of stuff with them, and man, I just to see his journey and to see the stuff that he's done. I mean, his portrait shots of like Conor McGregor, like Rampage, and all these guys, man. Like he's definitely got the eye for talent, got the eye for what's going on. And
I need to study this. Who is he? Hans what?
Hans Molenkamp. He's the man. He's super cool. He's based out of Oceanside. Yeah, man, he's definitely someone that's a big part of the MMA industry. He was at Throwdown for a while, and yeah, man, it's awesome.
Is that at Oceanside?
Yeah,
Huh.
Oceanside, California. He's down there.
It's right in the middle between Orange County and San Diego ish.
Yep. You just take the 5 freeway, cruise all the way down.
Yeah.
Good surf, but yeah, man, Monsters. I mean, to see what Monsters done in the sport of action sports and MMA, and it's crazy, man. Like they just partnered up with Post Malone. Yeah, they're doing crazy stuff, man. So I definitely
that's great. That makes me feel a little bit, I don't know, because that makes me feel like we're slightly in par with them too, like as far as going down the same roads a little bit, because we have a rapper, we're doing like a Riff Raff.
Working with Riff Raff, the man.
He's kind of like Post Malone.
Yes, sir.
Not quite as big, I guess. But
it's funny, man. Riff Raff was actually played heavily my senior year of college, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I can't tell you how much was it.
Tiptoeing in my Jordans.
Tiptoeing in my Jordans. Yes. Yeah, he's a legend, man. He dude, I cannot tell you how many times I walk into our locker room and that song would be playing, and man, he's crazy, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's the Purple Panther. He's man, I think dude, the guy's just funny, man. I love him.
Yeah, I have a new, let me show you I'm releasing some pre-released designs, but I'll show you the new Riff Raff coming out pretty soon.
All right.
Because he's super into like neon, colors and fashion and designs and stuff. That's
his dogs, the Huskies.
Yeah, exactly. He loves the Huskies, and I was just at his house the other weekend, and he had the Huskies, and they're so cute.
Yeah. His man, I have one of my former teammates, big fan. He always taught me all kinds of Riff Raff stuff. So I definitely have him on my Spotify mix. There's a couple songs on there.
Nice. He's got a new one coming out called Silhouette of a Pinnacle. It hasn't released. except for this ad that we did. So there's cuts of it in this new ad, but also the video itself, you know, he's like rapping in front of girls. But one of the girls is wearing a sheath waistband. We were gonna have all the girls wearing sheath underwear, but the creative director didn't flow with what we had with our options. So, but they cut the waistband out of one and then they put it on this girl, and so you can really see there's some product placement.
Man, I think you guys are really doing a good job, man. I think you know, to see where you guys were a couple months ago, you know, to now, like, I mean, you guys have worked with LFA, you guys have worked with, you know, you guys are working with Brandon, you guys are working with the Schmo, you know, you guys are working, shout out to the Schmo, my brother Dave. Man. Dave's the man.
He's the legit. I love that guy. He really came on the scene and made a name for himself.
Yeah, I remember we met for Henry Corrales' fight in LA, and man, it's just awesome to see his growth. He's grown so much. His YouTube's doing amazing. It's Dave's the man. I love.
He's a hustler.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, just like I said, I mean, you guys are working with artists and collaborating with different people. Like that's why I love what I do, man. I get to connect with these different people, and you know, looking back at kind of Monster in comparison, right? They've worked with like Risk Rock, who's a graffiti artist based out of LA. You know, they've done all kinds of stuff. Like I think music, art, sports, food, culture, right? I think is, if you understand that, right, marketing, growing businesses is easy. I think there's plenty of people that I look up to in this industry, like Bobby Hundreds, who's one of the owners over at the Hundreds. Man, he's a genius when it comes to marketing, and you know, he's
like what?
He's worked
example.
So he's worked with like Disney, right? He came out with a lot of the Lost Boys collection. They've done collaborations with them. They've done collaborations with other streetwear brands in the industry, like Diamond. That I still have some of their pieces today. I don't get rid of them. I call them pieces, right? They're T-shirts, but they're pieces, right? And some of these people, like you know, Patton over at Ruka, right? Guys been able to bring jujitsu. You know, guys like Matty Matheson, who's a chef. Defers, who's a graffiti artist, and put them all together in this culture, right? And just connect all these dots. And you know, even yourself, man, like you're connecting rappers, fighters, you know, artists, comedians, like all these different mediums to really put together a culture. And I think when brands are building culture, that's what people buy, right? They don't buy the product because, yeah, like this is a great product, right? You buy the culture, you buy,
right, because the shirt is a shirt.
Yeah,
but then you buy the brand.
Yep.
Because it's cool. Like typically you want to be cool, and we try to make anyone we work with look like I say like a god, you know, like I want a upward angled picture of Brandon standing there just looking larger than life, you know, Brandon Moreno, and or anyone that we work with. We always want them to come out looking just superhuman and cool. Really cool is like, as long as it's cool, then that works. Cool works. I'm going to look into this Hans dude, and I feel like I have a lot to learn. I want to just keep, but you know, it comes down to really just like what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
That's how it all like I didn't, well, and then having a good product, and also great like customer service. I read this book by the owner of Zappos. I can't think of his name.
Oh yeah. Dude, I watched in my graduate school, man. I watched the whole thing on them.
Tony Heish or something.
Yeah.
Anthony, I don't know, but he, you know, the customer service, he really emphasized that they would do anything for a client. And I'll tell this story that we just did, because we finally got our opportunity to go above and beyond, where like the guy from Zappos said, if they want to order a pizza, if they call you to order a pizza, I want you to get them a pizza, even though you're a shoe company. And this guy from Switzerland or the Netherlands, I think it was the Netherlands, he wanted this Sir Kensington ketchup. he asked us, this was like a month ago, and my customer service team brought that to my attention. They're like, this guy wants ketchup, what should we do? I said, send it to him. And well, we didn't have it obviously, so we had to order it from Amazon, and then we sent him, it was like $50 to send him this ketchup in the Netherlands. And we sent it to him, and he was super happy, although we haven't, but when we said we were sending it to him, it was delivered and we haven't gotten a response. So I don't know if he's ungrateful or what. But but that's the kind of level of dedication and just above and beyond, above and beyond. And I know you're about that, right? You take the extra mile.
I think for us, man, being servant leaders is definitely something that's super important.
100%.
I think I learned so much, man, from Jason and Jeremy, those two, man. They're mentors in my life, and there's other people. It's funny, man. I look at all the bigger people in my life, and even learning from guys like James and Brandon and Coach Mark Montoya and Colin
James Krause and Brandon Marino and
Eddie Shaw and all these, John Crouch. And there's plenty of people in this industry, right? That you look at the success that they have, or just anybody in business, right? Like you look at how much they give to people, man. Like that's really it. I think if you serve and give to others, you're going to get it back in return. Right. And that's why every day I wake up, man, like I don't ever want to go a day where I feel guilty when I lay my head down to where I feel like I let a client down, or where I didn't bring my best and I wasn't prepared for them. And that goes even with our marketing clients and our partners, our sponsors, right? Like I don't ever want to go into a room or, I don't ever want to represent a brand and them not feel like, man, like they didn't do enough for us. Cause that's happened, right? I mean, there's plenty of times where, agents and I'll get on phones with company. It's kind of like talking to a broken girlfriend, right? You're like, man, like, no, like we're different. And luckily we've been able to kind of show people, through our efforts and through what we've done. And, we've cross collaborated businesses, like I saw you guys worked with So Right before, and shout out to So Right and the whole team over there, man. They're awesome. I love those guys. But, connecting our different sponsors and doing cross collaborative projects and,
happy to do that anytime. I know there was a guy I work with. It's called Modern Athletic Health. It's a website. He's the guy that linked us up with that So Right giveaway. Nice. Which they're a big, huge brand, and I have 2 So Rights downstairs. And
dude, their whole team, man, I cannot say enough about So Right. They've been freaking awesome. They sponsored plenty of our guys, and their product works, man. It definitely helps out. I had lower back issues and they were a huge help. Their owner and all their staff, man, just amazing people, very like-minded like you.
That's awesome. I want to get in touch with more of these guys that are doing like kind of as the cream rises to the top, so to speak, over the next couple of years. I want to meet these other guys that are doing what we're doing. And I mean, because I feel like we're going to be $100 million annual earning company relatively soon, probably within the next 5 years and maybe less. And that's just going to put us on another tier. And I mean, I want our name on the mat on the UFC and maybe all of the fighting organizations. But So Right, so that's what okay, edit that part out. To my team. But I bought the So Right, and it kind of hurts or whatever. Here's my and I do it, you put your stomach on there and you kind of like lean all the weight of your stomach into those little prongs, and it's no fun, but it does loosen everything up. But my point is, I think I paid $80 for that little horseshoe looking thing, and it could not have costed more than like $2 or $3. It's just a plastic, and there's some genius in that. And so shout out to So Right because he's helping fighters, right? You know what I mean? Like you what are you doing with this money? And if you're just pocketing it all, then you're an asshole, I think. And I like, I mean, I don't even have that much money. I have a decent amount. I'm doing better than most people
Yeah.
on the planet, but like a lot of it, I kind of just reinvest in the company. And by that, I mean, in these fighters, every guy we give $500 to are in product or and sew up, that's another person who's a badass
Yeah.
that's going to be representing Sheath, that's going for their dream, which is another thing we kind of sponsor or help or just we're going for our dream. And if I see someone down there hustling, giving their all, and I can help, I want to be a part of that. And I want, for the rest of their life, they're going to know who we are. And as they go on to whether they become a champion or parlay their fighting career into another profession, selling cars or whatever, like, fucking damn it, that guy, I had his name on the tip of my tongue. He fought Khabib and took him like 5 rounds. Igliamas, and he's from New York.
He's a real estate guy now.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody edit that in.
I spacing out his name. Oh my gosh.
Doesn't it start with like an I?
No, he did a podcast with Kraus too. I'm spacing on his name, but I know who you're talking about.
All right. Okay, so but these guys, so many of them, that work ethic, that dedication, that drive can be transitioned into something else. Like, because for me, I played basketball from age 9 to 17, all like 4 hours a day minimum. I mean, I'm like on the court every day, fully dedicated. And just that work ethic it doesn't just like go away, like, I mean, you just transfer that into whatever profession you are going to be in, because not everyone makes it to the UFC or whatever. But at the same time, I don't know, if you have an agent and you're good enough to make it a career, probably, maybe, I don't know.
That was my journey, right? Like I was just talking to a couple of my coaches the other day, still very close with a lot of my college coaches, and I was telling them, I was like, man, like my brother's girlfriend's little brother, he's a senior in high school. He's loves football, absolutely loves it, right? Kind of smaller, but he has a work ethic like nobody's business. I connected him with my college coaches, and he's going to go play now at the University of Laverne, and he has an opportunity to play D3 ball. And man, that's what I loved about that whole process, right? Because it was like, I got to play the sport that I love, right? We didn't really necessarily weren't on scholarship or any big sort of situation like that, right? But when I graduated from there, I was like, man, like, I'm not going to go to the NFL. My best friend, who's one of the most athletic human beings I've ever met in my entire life, like, this guy could go into CrossFit, freaking kill it, go into jiu-jitsu, murder it, he'd do whatever, and he didn't even make it, right? So how does a guy who from the age of 7 was playing a sport, whether it was baseball, football, basketball, I was always in sports, as my dad just, that's what he always took me to practice, and I lived my life around sports. So when I graduated, I was like, man, like, this might be the first time where I might be without sports.
Wow.
And I met Jason, and I can still say at 25, I've never gone a summer, a winter, or any season, right, where there's no sports. And that's why I love MMA, because it's year round.
You're only 25?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Good. You look like a little bit more mature. I couldn't tell. I thought you might be 30 or something, but you're doing good.
Yeah, I definitely, and I implore other kids, man, like, especially guys even at D1, right? Like, D1 guys, man, you guys have been around the business. You guys see every day what it takes to be recruited, like, or wrestlers, football, baseball, basketball. That same drive that you have can be put into business. I'm ultra competitive. I want all of my guys to have endorsement deals. I want to work with every company. I want to work with I want to do
Tesla.
Yeah, I want to do crazy stuff, right? Like, I would love to I think one of the bigger projects that I saw was Kevin Hart worked with JP Morgan Chase. Right?
Whoa.
Big,
Yeah.
big project of financial literacy, and like, dude, I can't wait till one of our guys is able. James Krause is, man, that guy's probably one of the guys I could do it with.
Dude, not hook me up with him, but let us send him
Yeah.
some stuff. His hair, he's got
Yeah.
great hair, very neat.
James is I always call him my GQ model, man. I call him
Yeah.
all, he's the guy,
And
and like he's very intelligent, very cerebral, right? But a
very,
lot of these guys, I mean, the guys this year he set a goal, roll to 1 million, right? So even myself, right? Like I have different goals in business. Jason's very relentless in his pursuit. Jeremy, all of us, we have that that competitive drive in us, right? And
hell yeah.
I think you go from being an athlete all your life as a kid, right, and having something to compete in, and then now we get to compete in the business world, right? It's not as hey, wins or losses, but at the same time you take those same principles, have discipline, be detail oriented, be committed, be a good teammate, make sure you're pollinating your other guys, man, give to the team, like all those principles. If you do those in life and business, man, you're going to be blessed.
Oh yeah, because I meant to say this earlier, and you were saying being a servant leader, and I was in the Army, and
Thank you for your service, by the way.
oh, you're very welcome. Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Yes. Yes.
But don't wait to the 1 day a year. I was telling my brother, I was like, just if you see someone wearing a uniform, thank them for their service, and not just on this day, like any day you see them anywhere. And and the cops too, however you feel about them, make them feel good because they're still working and you don't want them to shoot anyone. And then the firefighters, these guys,
Public servants, man. I don't
yeah,
think teachers, nurses,
yeah,
the trashmen, right? Like all these people,
yes,
they're public servants, man. They're people
yes.
here people don't realize how much these people have influence on your day-to-day life, man. Like not everyone can be a doctor, not everyone can be a lawyer. There's these
Well, the
jobs.
trash man, what you just
Yeah,
like that right
yeah,
there. I show him some respect, dude.
yeah,
The fucking guy's working hard and
yeah,
he's picking up your trash, and somebody's got to pick up the fucking trash.
yeah.
So be nice and say
And,
thank you.
and even these, the people I have my brother, graduated from West Point. He literally just came home,
Wow.
and just got back after an 8-month or year-long
Deployment.
He was out there
Oh, shit.
serving our country, man, and he's missed a lot, man, and he's missed graduation,
Yeah.
birthdays, and all kinds of stuff, man. But man, I have so much respect for the military, man. It's always cool when I get to see an old vet and talk to them. And my father was in the service. My grandfather served, and my father and my brother both work for police departments and stuff like that. So I definitely have a soft spot for those who serve, right, and put their lives on the line every day. Like,
yeah.
it's hard not to, man. I get to sit on a podcast and do what I love because people are out there sacrificing, making the ultimate sacrifice. So definitely can't thank the servicemen and women enough for all they've done, and anyone, right? I think if we had a little bit more respect for everyone that was in those industries, and again, this goes down to teachers and all those people that invest into the future, man. Like they don't get enough applause, man. I wish they got more applause than they get.
Well, we'll just keep. We lead by example, and servant leader, which is where how I started off on that tangent was, in the Army as a sergeant, NCO, non-commissioned officer, they train you to lead from the front and to make sure your soldiers have what they need to do their job. So I had to take care of my soldiers. I had like a squad, when you're a sergeant, there's different levels. I had 5 people, but any little thing they had, like some dispute with their wife, or you got to go to their house in the middle, not during work hours, is while you're at home with your family or whatever. And so, but if you do that in business and take care of your employees, and don't be afraid to get out there in front and do the work, and clean the toilet as an example, do the dirty work, show them I'm going to get down there with you and do it. I'm not too good. I'm not better than you. We're a team, and I'm here to help you, help me, and we'll all help each other. And so that type of an attitude goes a long way, I think, with the morale of a company. You know, you're not just telling them what to do.
I think again, man, and I keep bringing this up, like Jason and Jeremy and our higher ups, man. Like I that's where I learned, you know, all this stuff, to learn to go cut weight with your guys, you know, and cutting guys. One week you're at a regional show cutting weight, you know, the next week you're at the UFC, you know, and it's like I've seen those guys sacrifice. I've seen athletes, you know, that lived with them, and they are the epitome of what it is to be servant leaders. And you know, that's where I get a lot of my stuff from. And it's funny, I did my undergrad thesis on servant leadership, right? And it's like crazy to see the principles every day of like how you can be a servant leader. And I truly believe that's why, you know, I'm blessed, Iridium's blessed, our companies are blessed, because
Beautiful.
Everyone has that mentality, man. And I think I'm really excited to see what the future holds for Iridium, and you know how I can help us grow and help, you know, you guys grow, and everyone that we're associated with.
Dude, SHEATH, I mean, so SHEATH grows to $100 million company, we're gonna all like rising tides lift all boats and shit, and so we'll grow.
We'll burn the boats, row the boat.
Yeah, there's no retreat. It's only we're taking it, you know, full charge ahead. Very excited about the future. I love that attitude. I like the principles that you're speaking are in line with kind of my philosophy on business and life. So I think we're a great fit. We're going to continue working together and keep helping these fighters, you know, which is a lot of what it's about. And I just get inspiration from them and stay fit. And the more I can be involved, the better. So please, that was so cool of you to FaceTime me with Brandon Reno the other night. I was fucking so pumped off that. I told everyone. So that was really cool. I appreciate that.
We have plenty more times, man, where you're gonna have to come out to Vegas or Cali or any of our gyms, man, and come spend some time. And you're always welcome, man. We definitely appreciate all the support, and that's why I'm here today, man. Wouldn't be anywhere else.
That's really cool. Hold on. We're gonna wrap it up here in just a second. Why does my phone wanna Jacob? The fuck? Hold on. There it is. See, I don't know why I have it like this. Look at this. Jacob Parga. So that's why I said it wrong. Parga.
Yeah.
Parga. And I'm gonna get emails from you. It's like, but your brain just fills in gaps sometimes. So I apologize for that.
Oh, good.
Just so you know, I'm not just like saying your name wrong, but you must have, when you told it to me, when I probably saved it in my phone, probably said it like with an accent, and I probably just heard it. You know what I mean?
That's all good.
And so, just letting you guys know, it's not like I don't care about I talk to you all the time, you know, and so it's like I feel like an asshole. I mean, I was kind of bugging me the whole time. I was like, I can't believe you fucking did that, you asshole. But so I wanted to check on my phone, and like, okay, at least that's how I had it written down. So I feel a tiny little bit better. But I'm gonna redo an intro, and because I'll do my sponsors and stuff, and I'll introduce you proper, like, so not to worry about that. So you are the sports agent at Iridium Sports Agency. You represent all these fighters. If any of you are fighters out there and you need representation, you go to this guy right here, Jacob Parga, Iridium Sports Agency. And I know they can be found. You can be found on Instagram and stuff.
Instagram, LinkedIn, all Twitter. It's all Jacob Parga. But yeah, anyone, we're pretty accessible. IG, text message, whatever, emails. We're always on our phones.
And I can attest they take care of us, you know, and I can see they take care of the fighters. Obviously, he cares, so I highly recommend that service if you're in the searching for agency and whatnot, and sponsors too, right? Like people, because
So
we need.
that's my main. So I'm the marketing director. So that's my main every day to day. Everyone at Iridium kind of has their own little role, but that's what I dedicate my life to, man. Finding.
So brands come
Yeah.
to you.
Yep.
Okay. And I know people. And so, and I do try to recommend what works for us to some of my friends that are in business. They're a little skeptical, people are skeptical and things, but
Just tell them to come to me and have a phone call, and I'll take care
yeah,
of it.
I got you. Okay. We're gonna keep growing together. We're gonna keep working together. You're gonna see Brandon Moreno June 12th in the main event, UFC fighting against
Co-main event.
oh yeah, Figueiredo. That's how I have to say it. And there's like 3 main fights that night. Oh,
Yeah, it's a crazy card, man. We also have,
because Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards are fighting, and that's kind of like the other big fight.
Yeah, so we'll be June 12th. We'll be in Arizona, getting ready, man. I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you, brother.
And if there's anything else you want to say,
No, just thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Again, I appreciate SHEATH, and yeah, anybody that needs help or needs, wants to work with things, we're always looking for new companies, new brands, new athletes. Definitely want to see who we can help and continue growing this business. So
you're doing really good stuff, and so I believe in you. I recommend it, and thank you for coming on. So that's a wrap, people. We'll see you next time on the Robert Patton Global Podcast. We out.